You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Don't touch that camera.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And we are a podcast about
How we game.
Thursday nights. Live call-in show is about how you game. Please, if you are in the chat, if you're watching live, please let us know. Chat, comment. How is our audio? We've been spending the last 5 minutes or so
Adjusting some things.
Yep.
Turning some knobs.
Realizing that some knobs were not where they needed to be.
Yes, so it was kind of a, well, I was going to say a huge reset, but a little bit of a reset on things.
Restart the computer.
Yeah, big reboot. So, hey, Nick's in first tonight. Hey, Nick.
Hello.
How you doing? Oben.
Let us know how that audio is, Nick. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, make sure everything sounds good, not too loud, not too quiet. I can hear and see you. Sweet.
That works.
That's what we're looking for.
All right, today's show, of course we look funny. Thank you, James Odak.
Yeah.
Today's episode, we were going to do a review of Takedo, but then we found out that Wayne has an event with the kid,
Yeah.
and we don't want to do that without Wayne.
He might pop in later. If so, we might.
We'll do our beans then.
No,
Yeah, because that game will be easy for us to review. We've played multiple games of it at home because Wayne got a hold of some copies through Stonemeyer Games.
Yep.
So I've had some gameplays at home, and I'm ready to give it the beans.
Sweet.
But before Wayne even shows up, that means we don't have a lot of pre-planned content. This is going to be very much reliant on you and your phone calls to keep this thing going. And for that reason,
Call in now.
we're going to go right into the
Phone call portion?
open up the phone lines. 813-618-7099 is the number. Phone lines are open.
This is the week to take control. Like Carlos said, we didn't plan a whole lot tonight. We figured
I'm prepping for a work trip.
Yep. Next
week. Heading out Saturday.
Yep. You're going to be gone. Wayne has something. He may not be here next week. So we'll see about next week. We may skip the week. I'm working on a little something on the side. If I've got that ready, we may post that up next week so there'll be some kind of content to watch. So I won't promise anything yet because I'm still kind of working on it. But actually, it's coming along nicely. So a little play. I'll tease that, a little play of a recent game. So anyway, so
what I want to do today is go through the Discord channel to see what's going on the Discord channel with the news topics. I know I've been posting some news articles in there.
Yep.
Hoping that y'all will have some news articles as well. We'll comment on those. Yes, Nick Oben promises. If there's one thing that you can count on with Beans and Dice is change.
yeah, it's not going to be the same. But Nick knows what I'm talking about. I've been talking to Nick. Actually, Nick helped me out. I borrowed his copy of a game that we've been playing. So Nick's in the inner circle there.
Are you in the circle of trust?
In the inner circle
Caller?
of trust.
Hello and happy Thursday, gentlemen.
Happy Thursday.
This is Nick. This is Nick from San Antonio, Florida. Actually, calling tonight from San Antonio.
He's had a relocation.
Way far away from Wesley Chapel, Florida. It's the next town up.
Yeah, another 5-minute drive. Yeah. How you doing, Nick?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was reflecting a little earlier on our play of Frosthaven last night, and I think I agree with you. You made the comment before we left that it was a refreshingly nice session. It was kind of a little shorter. It was a little more compact. Our goal was really clear. We jumped in, we tackled it, took care of it, and then we got to spend a bunch of time unlocking some new content, reading some story stuff. Yep. It was kind of a refreshing change to what we've been doing. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. We kind of part of the reason I was calling in. First of all, I'm available here on a Thursday night. We're actually between axe throwing seasons. I actually took a break from axe throwing anyways, but have had busy schedule conflicts with the kids and just travel. So happy to be able to call in.
Happy to have you, brother,
and say hi to you guys. Yeah, and got a couple topics. So what I've been playing recently, Frosthaven last night. Rob just alluded to, and yeah, it was great. Kind of reminded me of some of the earlier plays of Gloomhaven, even going all the way back to Jaws of the Lion, where it was almost like I don't want to say too easy, but it was straightforward. That was the word Rob used in a refreshing way. Frosthaven has been like significantly more involved And I don't think I realized, we in previous calls I've mentioned, like, oh, it's so good. They changed so much, they enhanced it, and they have. But the deeper you get into that, the more you realize that now, like, doing anything takes a while because there is more to it.
Yeah.
I think, and we've caught ourselves, our group, me, Rob, and Joe, we won't start playing until 7:30 at night. And then on a good night, we had a normal cadence going down. We would do the outpost phase, which is the whole new mechanic of the game, which is really great. It's a lot of fun where you're actually building the town of Frosthaven outside of and between the scenarios.
Yep.
We do the outpost phase, then we do the scenario. And the outpost phase is supposed to be this somewhat formulaic, like boom, 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 reading an event. Anyone want to craft anything? You want to make potions? Anyone want to build a new building? It feels like it should take literally 20 minutes, and every time it's like we're happy if we're starting the scenario an hour and a half later at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then you start the scenario. So if you think back to Gloomhaven, it was only scenarios. There was no outpost phase. We would never have met on a weekday night at 9 o'clock to start playing. Mm-hmm. But with the outpost phase kind of starting to take longer, that was happening. Whereas it kind of happened last night too. We joked. I think we were in the scenario by 8:40, 8:45 last night. Mm-hmm. So about the same timeline. But then the scenario only took an hour out and maybe and change, which was a big departure from the norm. Mm-hmm. And it was fun. Rob died with multiple rounds left to go, so that was fun.
I got to watch.
But yeah. Which now that I think about it, I wonder if the game going shorter and Rob not having turns.
Oh, is there some kind of correlation there? Just get him out of the game early.
The AP is gone.
I don't know about that, but maybe a little bit.
No.
Let me ask about this outpost phase. Because it sounds to me like it's that the setup betwixt adventures, right? So the town visit type stuff.
Yep.
The shopping type stuff. Is that what that is?
Yep.
Now,
yeah, so imagine playing an RPG.
Yes, in like an RPG or even a adventure like Imperial Assault, where you're gaining your experience points, you're buying your skills, you're
upgrades,
shopping the merchant.
Yep.
I like to get that all done right after the mission. Like, y'all are doing it before the next mission?
So it's funny. Good point.
We talked about
basically, you do outpost phase scenarios, outpost phase scenario, or scenario outpost phase scenario. You flip flop that. You have to go back and forth. In general, sometimes scenarios will link from one right to another, but in general, it's going to be one then the other, one then the other. We happen to fall into the cadence. I don't know if it was on purpose or just it happened to be that way because of the timing, where we would do the outpost phase and then do a scenario, and then by the time the scenario is over, it's late, we're done, and we quit for the night, and then the next time we meet up, we have to do the outpost phase, right? Mm-hmm. But Carlos, you're right. I mean, it actually might make more sense to do a scenario, and then you come back to Gloomhaven, and you're kind of like, yay, we did a scenario, we do it.
We talked about that a little bit last night, if you remember. Oh, maybe that's what you're going to. Go ahead. No,
last night, the scenario was over quick enough, and we were having fun. It was easy, fun, that we did another outpost phase. So last night we did outpost phase, scenario, outpost phase. And now we have flipped the script, and moving forward, we'll probably do scenario, outpost in that order.
And Nick was struggling with that a little bit last night because he sets everything up. It's at his house. So when Joe and I get there, he's got the scenario set up. He's got the outpost phase book out. And
all the market items, like everything that you're buying or visiting.
All ready to go to save us some time so when we get started. But so Nick was struggling because he was like, hold on, you guys have screwed up my whole cadence. Usually I'm doing this and this. And so now this time to remind myself I need to take a road event and put it over here and then set this on the book. And he's like, I don't know about this. But I mentioned. I
can take...
Go ahead.
I can take a picture and put it in Discord if you want of the setup where I've got I have everything put away except for the road event sitting on top of the scenario. So it's weird to me. It looks not like my normal setup, but because it looks weird, I'll be like, right, this is correct. We're doing a road event and going right into the scenario. That's what we're doing. Yep. So it is funny.
And I comment on the length of those scenarios. Sometimes, last night we had maybe an hour and change, but those things tend to be 2, 3, maybe pushing 3.5 hours sometimes. And so I like the idea of getting in there, getting that scenario done for sure, and then depending on what time it is when we're done with the scenario, probably doing the outpost phase. But if we get overwhelmed, if it's late.
For me, the outpost phase is almost the administrative, clerical, accounting piece of it. And when I show up, you want to bore me? Let's go do that.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get to the adventure. Let's get the exciting stuff done, and then we can cool down, kind of like a cool down lap with the accounting piece. Sure.
I think it's fine. I mean, over the course of the many plays, because you're just doing one then the other, I don't feel like it matters too much. And in fact, the one counter argument is in the outpost phase, if you do brew a new potion or craft a new item, the only reason to do that is to then use it in a scenario. So
next time,
have the outpost phase, give me my stuff. Now that I've stocked up at town, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Doing it this way, the new way that we have it set up next time, it's going to be, hey, does everyone remember what the stuff you had? Because that's what you've got. We're on the road right now, immediately on the road. And then after the road and scenario event, we'll go back and we'll buy a bunch of new stuff that we're not going to use until 2 weeks later when we meet back up.
Yeah, although you say buy a bunch of new stuff. I mean, we're lucky if we craft one potion, and we don't ever buy anything. So
it's not that big a deal. Yeah. It's not that big a deal. Yeah. I think it's gonna be fine either way.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it feels. We'll report back.
Yeah, it'll be good. But no, last night was crazy. So for anyone that following along in any of these kind of games, maybe they played Gloomhaven, maybe they played Frosthaven or whatever, we unlocked 3 new playable characters in the 3-hour session last night,
and all
which
different,
is
kind of different,
a wild amount of content.
Yeah, it's not like we did one scenario, and then when you hit the end of that scenario, it unlocked 3 characters. We did the scenario, and that unlocked a character. Then we went back to Frosthaven and did the town phase. We built a building. That particular building unlocked a character, and then we were like,
the body of Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, and then
the foundation,
and then we did an event, and we unlocked another one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, and it was because we did the outpost phase followed by a scenario followed by an outpost phase, and at each of those phases we happened to do a thing that unlocked a character. I mean, the big thing was the scenario we did was a major boss fight of the original starting storyline that we actually had purposely put off to the side because we didn't want to do it for whatever reason. Like, we hadn't played that storyline. I think I was telling the guys last night. It was something actually like 15 scenarios worth of other content that we had done, and almost forgot. Like, oh yeah, we got to go back and
finish
do
that
the
storyline
for the original storyline. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So last night it ended up being kind of a big deal scenario when we did it. We got a new character. We got this currency in the game called Prosperity. It's like a Frosthaven level up system for Frosthaven itself. We got over the course of all this stuff last night, we got 5 Prosperity. That's normally we're happy to get 1 in an evening session, and we got 5.
Mm-hmm.
And again, unlocking characters happens maybe once every 5 or even more, 8 sessions, and we got 3 in one session. It's great.
Yeah, it was something.
Hey Nick, in the chat we got Mitch from Louisiana.
Prudhomme
Says y'all talking about Frosthaven? Never finished Gloom, so I haven't delved into it yet. But my friends who think I jumped the shark a bit with the outpost phase or whatever it's called. So it sounds like in Louisiana the outpost phase is not a fan favorite.
I know Tom Vassell, he talked about it when he played, that it wasn't his favorite part. He had higher hopes for it than what it actually ended up being. And I think I would agree with that sentiment. Nick, you can chime in too. But when I heard about what you were doing, I was like, oh, this is going to be 50% of the game. It's going to be really cool. It's cool. I like what it does, but it is just kind of one more thing to have to do, and the scenarios are still the coolest part.
Yeah. So it's tricky. I think so. It takes up. It does end up taking, at least for our group, for our particular group of 3 dudes. I feel like it ends up taking about something like 25 to 33% of the time of the total time.
That's a lot.
And and for that you get some nice stuff. I mean, I'll say this: I like the outpost phase. I like the outpost events as a kind of other side of the coin of the road event coin. Where in Gloomhaven it's road event scenario, and the road events are really kind of a tickler. They're kind of like there's something cute might happen, or something kind of mildly annoying might happen. The outpost phase events, I'm definitely more excited about. Real stuff is happening. Story is unfolding. New characters are showing up. The town is developing. I feel like there's probably some efficiencies there where you could do more of the exciting stuff in half the time. Somehow would be better, and it could even be. We can do better about like Carlos, you mentioned, or Rob, you mentioned the setup I do. When it comes time to figure out if we want to craft potions, figure out if you want to craft new items. Honestly, we can sink as much time into that as we want, and maybe I just need to be a little better about what do people have? Can we even do it? Hey, we're just going to skip this step or whatever, or not. We're going to brew this. Because I do say the outpost events that happen, we move through and they're fun and interesting.
Yeah.
But building the buildings, I like a lot, and I do like that they give you the mechanism to build more than one building in a given phase. But you have to take a hit to morale. Basically, you work the townspeople a little harder. Their morale goes down as a resource that you can spend, basically, and then you can build 2 buildings as long as you can afford them. And that was nice. We did that. I think maybe 2. We kind of we realized we had capped out on morale. Our people at Frosthaven were happy as could be, and we were like, let's start working these people, and we built a couple of extra buildings faster.
Let my people go.
Yeah. Again, it's one of those things where it's interesting. I don't know where the time goes, because we literally will spend an hour to 90 minutes on just the outpost phase, which is an entire game worth of someone looking at my game shelf. I could probably play an entire game of Planet or Dice Forge or Gizmos. I could play an entire other game in just the time we spend on outpost phase, right? But I do enjoy it, so if you have the time, it's fine. I just think they could probably find a way to give us the outpost event, building buildings, and increase efficiency of buying and crafting items, and somehow get through it in half the time. Then we'd be happy.
Oh, Mitch says, "Don't waste your time playing Planet, Nick."
I see that. I see that.
Yeah.
Now, he did say that.
I think he jumped the shark on that one. Which, by the way, Mitchell, is that like a Louisiana thing? I don't know what jump the shark means. We jump alligators here in Florida, by the way. That's what we jump. But,
Jump the shark. Are you too young for Jump the Shark, Nick? Really?
Don't let the gray hair fool you.
Oh wow,
He's a young cat.
That's a pretty common term. Jump the shark means it's usually with sitcom TV shows. It goes back to Happy Days, where the Fonz, in one of the late episodes after that show had been on for years and years and years, he enters a ski jumping contest and he hits a ramp and jumps over an actual shark accidentally and freaks out, and that's where everybody said Happy Days took a huge nosedive and everybody stopped
after
watching.
That episode.
It was like after that, it was like too much. It was like that was just stupid crazy. So now for last 30 years, anytime a TV show hits that point where it kind of goes into the absurd or out of, they're just doing crazy stuff to try to keep viewers now. That's called jumping the shark. So
well, thank you.
There you go.
There you go. I was waiting for the more you know. Yeah.
The more you know.
Hey, so Mitch says that his group ends up playing a scenario, and then the person who owns it, Jeremy, sends the players their options for the outpost phase on Discord. This way they save table time and they do it online before the next session.
This coming from Mitch, whose group plays 15 games a night, and so anyway, I think that's doing it wrong. I mean, that's doing it a disservice. I don't completely love the outpost phase. It's okay, and Nick loves it more than I do, but it's still not something that you could do offline. Come on, I don't know.
Yeah, it turns it into, I think, too much administrivia.
Yeah.
I get the administrivia part of it in a way, because some things are very deterministic, and it is just a matter of us looking at our resources versus the available items, and okay, anyone want to do any of this time, kind of thing. But no, I think the outpost event. It depends on how far along you are. I will say this: the outpost phase used to be simpler. Yeah. We now have more going. We legitimately have more buildings. Yep. As you build more buildings, you do more stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say something that I realized it's a spoiler. I probably shouldn't talk about it. But okay, all right. Yeah.
No, just say as you build more buildings, you do more stuff. And then we have there's a lot more calendar events. Like actually that caught Joe last night. The first thing you do is you just mark the passage of time, and you just cross off the next day on the calendar. If there's something written there, you have to do a thing. We now have gotten to the point where, because of various events or characters or whatever, there's like always something going on in Frosthaven. So it used to be just like cross it off, move on. Now it's like cross it off, and we have an event or two to process. So it's an important part of the game and story at this point.
But is it immersing you in the game? Is it bringing Robert into the world? Or is it just another mechanism he needs to get through?
Are you asking me? Or
I'm asking Robert.
Oh, yeah, I figured you were asking Nick to see if it looked like it was bringing him in. I agree with Nick. The events are cool, and meeting new people, and there's some story. Like somebody just sent us on a new quest that we're going to go take on next time. It's a one-shot scenario that we unlocked because we did a thing, and she's sending us to go investigate a thing. So it's a path we did not plan to take. We were going to go and start another storyline, but now we're going to go visit the thing and do the thing. So that it is important. It opens up new stuff, and then Nick said we open something every 10 things. I'd say it's even less than that. And new characters seem to be few and far between, and unlocking 3 of them in one night was huge. So next time we're all excited about all the options we're going to have as far as playing new characters. So I mean, it's definitely important, but there is definitely some administrative. Nick likes the building portion. I don't know if I quite get that. Building the buildings is like, okay, let's build a building.
I love it so much. I don't know why. The dopamine hit of leveling up buildings. I think so. I'm also in charge of stickering.
Yes,
you physically
I was going to actually mention that.
Sticker.
Yep.
Yes. And I'll put this. We literally. Yep. So this is the thing. The map, the board of Frosthaven, it shows you Frosthaven, the city, which then has a bunch of sticker spots. So as you build buildings or upgrade them, put in new stickers. And then the whole rest of it, maybe the other 60% of the map, is the map of the northern area above Frosthaven, where we do all of our scenarios. And as you unlock scenarios, you sticker them so they become available, and it fills in the artwork. It's neat. It's good.
world building.
Yes.
It used to be just a generic view of the woods, but now when you unlock the scenario in the woods, it shows like the little campgrounds that are buried in them. And then when you go to do the scenario, you can cross it off, and I did it and stuff. So you end up interacting with this large board. It's one of the 6-panel boards, so trifold and then fold in half. And you interact with it multiple times in a given session, but you don't really need it out. You don't play on the board, right? The board is literally just artwork that you're stickering. And you end up with this cool world build, but you don't play on the board, right? So just last night, finally made the decision to actually hang it up on my wall here at the house as a piece of art, like a map, a big map on the wall, but not in a frame, just literally tacking it to the wall. And so now as we go to sticker it, we can like walk over to the wall and sticker it and mark off, yep, we're going here, we're going there. I'm very excited.
That'd be cool.
Ask me if I'm excited.
A little excited, Nick?
I'm surprised all the time that we've
really
talked about
about
Frosthaven, we've never stopped to talk about the Outpost phase.
Yeah.
So it sounds like when we first talked about it at the beginning, when y'all were playing it, it really wasn't that big of a deal.
No.
But now it's gotten to be its own animal.
Yeah. It definitely has grown, as Nick said, and every now and then you get an attack, a random attack would happen, and you've got a deck that you draw out of to do the attack. And again, when they hyped it early on, it was like, oh, this is going to be cool. You know, this we got to defend the city and all this. But as Tom from Florida explained, you flip a couple cards and you either lose a couple buildings or you fight off the attack, and it's not nearly as thematic.
That I completely agree with. The events that interest me are the not combat events. The combat events are almost a waste of the mechanic. Again, no spoilers, but like there's parts of the game that actually try to make that more interesting, but it's still not. And so it's kind of like, and then that becomes just administrivia. That becomes extra work we have to track. They're like, okay, well, we made our city.
Sorry, Carlos and I keep looking at each other. Administrivia. What is that? Learn us.
Oh, is that what I'm saying? I'm saying that word.
That's what we heard. It sounds like
it's like, yeah. No, it is. I say that. Yes.
It must be a Maryland thing.
Or where
maybe,
that came from?
or like maybe a tech company thing.
Oh.
So we use it actually at work. Use it like at work a lot. It's like admin work that you have to do that's trivial and stupid.
Oh, okay.
Like, makes sense.
So administrivia. I
thought this was a new game, like a Trivial Pursuit for administrative people or something, but no. Okay.
No.
All right.
No, it is annoying admin work that you have to do just because you have to do it.
Okay.
Which is then what the battles in the Outpost phase end up feeling like. Like you mentioned, Tom from Florida said, you flip cards and you see how much you flip cards and you see what building got destroyed, and then you pay. Then you invariably pay to fix the building. Okay, that event cost us 3 wood, 2 metal, and a hide. Got it. Cool. Yep. Moving on.
Buildings patched. Moving on. Yeah. Yeah, so that's not the most exciting part, but unless you've got something else, I know that we're boring some people out there with all the Frosthaven talk. But anyway, you said you had some other topics, right?
Oh well, I mean, is it too soon to talk about Dice Tower?
I don't believe so.
I know it's like right around the corner,
week and a half away.
Yeah, right. I was realizing it's like 2 weeks away. Like it's Thursday, and I think it's in 2 weeks. We'll
be from yesterday.
At Dice Tower, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, from yesterday, right? Yeah. So I bought my first game from the virtual flea market. Oh. Very excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never done it in any years past. Now I need to figure out how it actually works, but I have, I guess, 2 weeks to figure it out. It's Thursday morning at like 8 a.m., I know. And I might even need, not going to lie, I might need a proxy. I don't know that I will be there yet. But I do know that, like, if you coordinate with the person that you bought the game from, you can just meet up with them afterwards or whatever.
Yeah. If not, we'll get you.
But
enough people going. We got a pretty good crowd, actually. I started counting last night that's going to be there this year. So, yeah, we'll get you.
Well, very good. I'm excited. My just notable thing is it is the first year that I'm bringing the boys officially as badged child attendees. That finally is happening. You would have thought it happened in, like, the year we did the board game every day or whatever, but they were just a little too young. It would have been a little too much babysitting. Now they're aged 12 and 13, and so I think they'll have fun with the kind of delving into the full.
Wow, I'm getting old.
Like later nights.
You are?
Yeah.
They're 12 and 13 now?
Yeah, how about that? Yes, yeah, Landis and Leo are 12 and 13. Little Lindsay's 10, but she'll be 11 towards the end of the summer, in October. But yeah, so they're at the point now where, like, they'll easily hang until 10, 11, even midnight gaming, and would also worry about, like, getting them back to the hotel room by 9 or something, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the previous thing. So we'll have fun with that. But just tonight we were talking about, okay, it's a whole weekend devoted to board gaming. Let's, like, pick out some games we're going to really play. We want to play. We want to learn. We want to play. We want to have a good time with it. Because I can see this as being something where it's like the day before we're just grabbing games that we know and I want to use this opportunity to like dive in and learn some new stuff. Really commit to board games because quite honestly, we've been busy. They've gotten a little older. They're more into their screens than they are their tables, right? And so when we do hit the table, we tend to just grab games that are lighter weight that we already know. But for this weekend, it's a whole weekend away to do nothing else but play board games. Let's pick out some heavier stuff. So that is my goal, is to find some of these games that haven't played yet.
So make sure to check that Dice Tower library too. Just if you want to lug the games anyway, just to make sure they're available when you want to play them. But they've got a huge library there, and so if there's games you want to play that are there, it can save you having to lug those games back and forth.
For sure.
Yep.
Good deal. No, but that's all. I was just kind of sharing my excitement of first family Dice Tower on this end.
Nice.
Which is kind of surprising even now that I say it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I know Wayne's bringing his wife and son are both going to be paid attendees, so he's planning to have them out there on the floor. So we're going to have a good crowd this year. Carlos and a few other people aren't going to be able to make it this year, but I think we're still going to have I was counting probably 15 to 20 people there. So good times. I'm looking forward to it. Less than 2 weeks away, so here we go.
Yep, love it.
Mitch says he will be there for day one.
Nice, okay.
Dice Tower, hopefully. I don't know if y'all saw in the Dice Tower news today, they announced that they are having tickets at the door.
They are.
Because they have plenty of space, so they don't feel that they'll run out of room. So for those folks that want to make that last-minute drive over there, they're going to have tickets at the door.
Double the space this year. They've got the big ballroom again, the whole big middle section that they haven't had for the last couple of years. So yeah, it'll be nice.
Thank you, Nick. You're our caller number one. We put it on the board. Number one.
Love it. All right. Well, hey, great catching up with you guys, and then we'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling, Nick.
Thanks for calling, Nick.
Yeah, man. Have a good one.
Caller number one.
Caller number one on the board. Phone lines are open, 813-618-7099. Make it a call-in show. Follow the lead from our man, Nick.
Good discussion there.
We've never really broke down that phase. That wasn't something I was even aware of.
Yeah.
That it was that deep of a part of the game.
That sounds like Nick enjoys it a little more than I do. I wasn't super aware of that, but it's good.
Would you rather him just send you a Discord message with what your options are?
Kind of like the old Zork game where it's just on text. You can go north or go south. Which way do we go?
Well, we head to the swamp where the hobbits are hiding. Speaking of that,
hobbit holes.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Mitchell from Louisiana. What's up?
Mitchell!
Our red bean. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to hear your voices. Y'all been all right?
Yeah. We are well. Families are healthy. Lots of kids at home. Rob's got the house full of kids again.
Yeah, yep. And I got to mention here right off the bat before I forget, Mitchell is on a big weight loss kick. I'm going the other way. I'm getting bigger. He's getting smaller. I've been seeing the pictures you've been posting, Mitch, and looking good, my man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm down 40 pounds in the last couple of months. I appreciate you bringing it up. Thanks.
That is crazy good. Yeah, my doctor just told me I got to start cutting my carbs, and he's got me fasting for breakfast now. I was telling Carlos, what is this fasting for breakfast?
But it's okay because there's still second breakfast.
Second breakfast, third breakfast, fourth breakfast.
There you go. 11th is lunch and afternoon tea, dinner, supper. Yep.
There you go. He's got him. What have you been up to, Mitchell?
Man,
Let's put it on the board. Second caller.
Like
caller number 2 on the board.
Okay.
Yeah, put it on the board.
There you go. All right,
I've been gaming like crazy lately. My life is just so busy with work and family and theater. The last year or so. I mean, I've still gamed consistently, but like I've been gaming like almost every day in June as a teacher. Off of the summer, I'm not currently directing a show, so it's been great. I've been getting a lot of games in.
Nice. Tell us about them. What have you been playing?
I don't know, where do I start? Okay, have you guys played or heard of Moon Colony Bloodbath?
I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, so Donald Vaccarino, the same guy that made Dominion,
yes,
is a Rio Grande title. So it's a really interesting concept where it's kind of like a communal deck builder. You start off with this very basic deck, and you just flip a card, and everybody does what it says. And you have options, like flip a card and say do work, so you could produce this or get cards, etc., etc. Thematically, you're making a colony on Mars. On the moon. And as different things happen, more cards are added to the deck. It could be good things or it could be bad things. Or it could be things that are only good for you. And kind of part of the theme is that these robot cards get added to the deck, and you're building robots to kind of make your life easier, but then the robots start turning on you.
Oh.
So the more robots you have, the more of your colonists you're losing. And basically, you're just playing to see which of you is going to be the last one surviving on the moon. It's kind of like a Thunder Road Vendetta game in that, like, you're kind of just playing for the lulz instead of to win, because it's like crazy stuff happens. You built this building, and it's like, oh, but now a robot comes and kills 10 people. And it's kind of just a beer and pretzels laughing around the table kind of game.
Wow.
It's pretty enjoyable.
Okay. So are you messing with each other, or is it just the game that's messing with you?
It's just a game. So like, for example, there was one card that came up to where we had to like pass a card to someone else. And so I had this one card that was really expensive, and it gave me like 20 colonists. Colonists are kind of like your life, but it ended up like, if you played it, everyone would lose like 10 colonists. And it's kind of competitive. So I passed that card along. I'm like, nobody's going to want to play that card. The next round, Jared, who's BJ's nephew, played the card.
Nice.
Which was expensive, but he got 20 colonists, and then me and BJ got knocked out of the game because then he had more colonists than us. So it's like you're kind of trying to work together to build this colony, but at the same time, there can only be one victor. So it's a lot of laughs. It's a very unique, like I said, it's a cooperative deck building game. I haven't really played anything like that before.
Okay. Yeah, we're scrolling through some pictures here. So,
well, it's interesting the way they described it on the BGG. It says, try to survive in this engine building, engine losing tableau game.
Yeah, because it's like as you build up your engine, you're also doing things like adding those robots to the deck, which are also going to destroy your engine. Anytime you build a building, it comes with colonists, which again is kind of like your HP. But then the problem is whenever you have to lose colonists, they take the building down with them. There's no one to run that pod or whatever anymore, so you lose the abilities of it. So you're trying to stay ahead of the bloodbath, essentially. Yeah, it's Rio Grande. I see you looking at the pictures. The production is terrible.
I was going to ask about the artwork, because it's not looking too shiny. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's not like a super thinky game. It's just to have fun, so it works.
Nice. Okay, maybe I'll look out for this one at Dice Tower. I wonder if they've got a copy in the library there yet.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun one to play, especially because I think it goes to 4 players. The play count, or look, there's 5 boards. There must be 5. The play count doesn't change the length at all, because like it's just flipping a card and everybody simultaneously does whatever it says, whether it be draw a card or play a card or produce goods, etc., etc.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good con game to especially as a palate cleanser or at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Whenever you're delirious.
Yeah, I think Dan would like this one for some reason. I think this would be up his alley. Yeah.
Yep. I think of the pulp horror games that he enjoys.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, the name, whenever I heard it, was a little bit of a turnoff. It just sounds weird. It sounded like someone just put a bunch of words in a bowl and just pulled 3 out. Moon Colony Bloodbath. But I mean, it fits the theme. It's very themey. We know Carlos loves his theme. I think Carlos would like that part of it.
Nice. All right, what else you got for us?
I'm sure you guys have played the Fellowship of the Ring Trick Taker, right? That game is awesome.
Oh, we have. Yeah, Carlos owns that one, so we've. I've got to dip my toe in a little bit. We played through about 4, 5, 6 scenarios, so I have not gotten back to it. But I know in our game circle here, it's making the rounds. Everybody in the local Beans and Dice here in Tampa has been playing this.
Yeah, I haven't played a ton of it. I played several scenarios, but it takes the crew, which I think is an okay game, and gives it theme, which I love. And I don't usually love theme, but when it's Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
And it just goes, it's so detailed. Like, I don't remember which, one of the scenarios, it's like one of the characters is Farmer Maggot, which is like a random character that's barely even seen in the movie. So the book lover in me is liking that they really dove into the book and, found these characters that can add some flavor to the game that, at its heart, is, like I said, it's basically just a crew.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I was just
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Well, I was just gonna, that's okay. I was just going to say I like the fact that you've got different. I'm going to call them characters. Is that the best word for them? The different people from the story.
Yes.
And they interchange depending on what mission you're doing. Some of the characters will drop out, and I haven't thought too much about it, but I assume it coordinates with the different chapters of the book and the different scenario settings that you're in. And so they all have asymmetric kind of different things that they need to accomplish during the scenarios. And so it it's kind of like The Crew, but like you say, more theme, more flavor. It's like, Bilbo always does this, and it kind of fits with his story character. So yeah, it really kind of brings the card game and the trick taking more to life.
And it's not just the characters played by the players. There's also the things that you're up against, the antagonist.
Yep.
For example, there at a certain point, you're going against a tree man, and there's a separate deck of cards that are going to flop from that tree man out to, well, I think does it say tree man on there? I'd have to go to that chapter.
Oh, maybe it does.
I don't think it says end.
Oh, okay.
I think it says tree man.
Oh.
But it uses its own deck, and it's going to flop against you. Then you'll have to play against that. So it's fun going from story to story, and it's a quick bit of flavor. It isn't like a long narrative passage you have to read. It just gives you a quick little bit of flavor. The mission, the story matches that, and the artwork is just gorgeous. That stained glass look of each of the characters and cards.
Yeah,
the components are just quality.
I agree.
It's a great game.
Are you guys fans of The Crew? Because I could take or leave The Crew. I think I own one of them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I like The Crew quite a bit.
But we also like Trick Takers.
Yeah, we're trick taking fans in general. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. One thing I remember not loving about this, and maybe it would change with more plays, but so every we were playing with, I think, 3 players. It was me and BJ and Jarrett, and sometimes there were up to like 5 characters you could pick from.
Right.
And like you said, each character has their own goal they're trying to reach. And I remember Gandalf's was like really easy. I think it was like win at least one trick. It's like, okay, I could easily accomplish that. So I was always tending to want to get Gandalf if nobody else had got him, just to like not make it hard on ourselves, So I'm sure. But later in the game, obviously, spoiler alert, Gandalf isn't always around.
Yeah.
Whenever Gandalf is not available, you're kind of forced to not pick him. But I just felt like I had a little bit too much choice in picking a character. But I think probably so. There's a version you could play where you can't progress to the next scenario until every character that's available has been won with.
Yeah, there's two styles of play, like the short and the long, and then each adventure will be either short or long. Short means you just have to win with the characters that you chose. Long means every character that's available have to been a part of a win. So you have to play the scenario multiple times to cycle through all those characters, winning each time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think maybe if we were playing the longer version, it wouldn't have rubbed me as much the wrong way because, Gandalf was always in it. But, I mean, does it get too samey in that case when you're switching a character and playing the same scenario, Carlos? Have you played the long way?
No, I find it to be more of a challenge because you have to win with both. And there are some characters that I just don't want to have anything to do with. Right? Some of these characters need an exact number. Some of these characters have to win an exact card. Like Samwise Gamgee, he has to...
Yeah, like the Nazgul flips, right?
Right.
And it tells you which one,
And he has to win a certain card of the hills to be able to... And it's like, I don't know if I want that much pressure in my life. Can I just have a Gandalf? I found, Mitch, that I felt that especially at low player counts, I'm playing with Rob, 2-player, playing with my wife, and then I'm also playing solo, because the characters that are available, of those, a number will have an asterisk, meaning they have to be a part of it. I feel like those are the only ones I can pick. So if I'm playing 3 players, I feel like there tends to always be 3 characters that are mandatory, mostly mandatory, so I don't even need to choose some of the other varied characters.
Yeah. I definitely want to play some more. I mean, I guess if you're playing with, up to 5 players, then you're going to be playing all the characters every round anyway, so that may affect it too. Maybe it's just a game that shines at max play count. I don't know. But I think it's a big improvement on The Crew.
I found it to be an improvement on The Crew because of the 2-player and then the solo setup that's in there.
Yeah, how does solo work?
Solo is a great puzzle. You're going to set up a tableau of 4x4 cards. So one for each character. So each character will get 4 cards. So I don't know if I'll say it's 4x4, but each character gets 4 cards. And they're splayed up in front of you. And then you'll have the rest of the cards will be in the deck. So you don't have access to all the cards like you normally would in a Trick Traker where everything gets dealt out. So you're going to have to infer what cards are still in the deck versus what's in front of you. And you're going to have to try to win those tricks and push those tricks to different characters so that they can meet their objectives. After each trick is played, you then flop out new cards to replace the cards that were played. I found it to be very puzzly because you're going to get through the whole deck, but you got to figure out, okay, I need this character to win no more than 1. He needs to win one and one only. So now I got to figure, looking at what's in front of him, how do I make this happen so that later on when there are new cards out, he doesn't automatically win, right? He doesn't have the ring card that wins it. I found it to be very puzzly, very light,
interesting,
very fast. It very much did not take a lot of space. I played it on my IKEA table tray in my bed at night. So like while she's watching TV, I just bust out the IKEA table tray and just play solo. I really liked it. But what I really liked, Mitch, was the 2-player rules. I don't know if you got to play that yet.
No, I've only played it 3.
So at 2 players, what it creates is this Seven Wonders duel style pyramid, where the bottom row is face up. So the third player, who's always going to be Frodo. Well, no, not always. Sometimes. For us, it felt like it was always. Anyway, the third player will be a character. They are a character, but they're going to deal out their cards so that a number of cards are face up, followed by a number of cards that are face down, and then a smaller number face up, and then a smaller number face down, and then finally one at the top that's face up, so a pyramid. And you can only play from the face-up cards that are not covered. So you can see what's in their hand for the most part, working your way up the pyramid, but you can't use those cards until you've played some from the bottom of the pyramid, allowing you to have access to those cards. So you start having to strategically plan the hands that we play, because if we see, okay, this character has that card, they're going to win that trick, and we can't have them win that. How do we set up our plays so that we can throw off suit or something? You know, it's very interesting. The crew had a 2-player rules. Yes, and that's why I like this, because the 1-player game feels completely different than the 2-player game, which feels completely different than the multiplayer game. You're getting 3 games in one small box.
That's the elevator pitch right there.
Yeah, so Carlos is now the official marketer for no.
Yeah, when do you get your sponsorship money?
Yeah, got you a check. Yeah,
I'm still waiting. We'll check the mail.
Yeah, I got one more game I want to bring up, and then I'll let y'all go because I'm sure I want to get some more callers in.
I want to talk board games. That's the only reason I'm here. It doesn't matter who it's with.
Yeah, but I'm sure other people want to get in too. I don't want to hog up the line.
All the people. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, In Belief, it was a Kickstarter game just fulfilled like a week ago. Connor and Jeremy both did it. It's from Frank West, who was the designer of all the Isle of Cats games in that same universe. It was a game that the Kickstarter, kind of its elevator pitch was this card dancing mechanic, which I think is what hooked a lot of people in. Playing it, I don't know if I would call it hard card dancing. It's just an interesting type of hand management. But this game looks deceptively simple.
Spell that for me.
And it's Ember Leaf. So Ember like a fire, E-M-B-E-R, and then Leaf.
Ember Leaf. Copy that. I found it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's got these little anthropomorphic animals, kind of like Everdell, and it's got this cutesy board. And like I think it teaches the game to you in like no time. You're playing cards from your hand onto your board and doing what they say. But the unique thing about the game is that you have a grid of, you can play 6 cards in, and then later as you unlock it, it can be up to 8 cards. If you can't or don't want to play one of your cards, you can instead make your cards dance, which simply means you're just going to move them to the left. And some cards have abilities that trigger whenever they move, and some have abilities that trigger whenever they drop off the edge of the board. That's basically the game. But the cool thing is like the puzzle of figuring out where to put the cards and when to shift them over, because it's like, okay, if I put the card all the way to the right, then that means I'm going to get more of its benefits whenever it slides, because it's going to slide several times before it drops off the left side of the board. But maybe I like its instant ability, because it usually has an instant and a slide ability, and that means it's going to be longer till I get it back in my hand to play it for its instant ability. So it's this really brain-burning puzzle in a game that mechanically and thematically is pretty light. It's like these little animals trying to like take back their kingdom or something in the woods. The other thing that I like a lot is there's a little bit of in-game scoring, in-game scoring, but there are these blue cards which are thematically, it's like I think you're taking an oath that you will do this for your community, and it's basically in-game objective that only applies to you. So there are different ways throughout the game to get these objectives, and my objectives can be completely different from yours, and really you win or lose a game with the objectives. So you're trying to either get objectives that you think you can accomplish, or hate draft them from the people who can't accomplish them, or sometimes you have already done it and the card comes up and you get to grab it. And figuring out the puzzle of the difficulty of these objectives versus the payout and how many victory points you get is really cool, because in some ways I feel like I'm playing a different version of the game than each other, but also from last time I played, because my objectives are really telling me what I should be doing on the board. And so those two things about the game, the card dancing and those very personalized objectives, are about thought made this game really, really shine.
Sounds interesting. Yeah, the art reminds me of like Root or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, talk to me about these arrows that I see on these cards. How does that mechanism work?
Is that the dance?
Yeah, the card dance. So the lightning bolt is an instant action. The left green arrow is when you slide, and then the blue arrow pointing down is when you drop off. So kind of like if you played Viscounts the West Kingdom, it's kind of that idea.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But the interesting thing is, I'm just kind of a deck builder, but you start with, I think, 5 cards, and you might be able to get, I think, 4 more throughout the game. So you're getting a small set of cards and just trying to figure out the best, most ideal loop to play them on your board to accomplish different objectives. So, like, for example, the blue one, the drop-off ability, again, to trigger that drop-off ability, if I wanted to, I could just put this card all the way at the edge of my board and next turn make it drop off. But whenever I'm doing that, I'm also triggering all the other cards at the same time, and it may not be an ideal time for all those other things to trigger. This one may give me resources, but I may be full of resources, and so I'll be wasting that entire action. So it's like sequencing and timing is really the crux to mastering this game, and something about it just itches my brain the right way. That, like, everybody at the table, we were super impressed. I played it like 2 days back to back. I think they're trying to play it again this weekend. It's been a big hot thing in Louisiana the last week. In our game, anyway.
Sounds about right for Mitch. I know he had the love for Chocolate Factory, which was a lot of sequencing and timing and that spatial aspect of things moving in the conveyor belt.
I'm more, I like to be able to plan ahead. What is it called? Like, Carlos, you've explained this before. Like, strategic versus in the moment. What are those words?
Tactical, yeah.
Yeah. I'm a guy that I like to know, for the most part, what to expect and figure out how to get to ABC. And really the only part of this game, which it is still a big part, is whenever those objectives come out, you have to kind of adapt. But the success is really in figuring out that loop, which, because you have a relatively small hand of cards, you can sequence things and plan things at several turns in advance to accomplish those objectives as they pop out. And the production is really, really good.
Yes.
It was a Kickstarter game. So, like, one thing that was interesting, which I thought was a little superfluous, but so every player has their own color, but, like, if I'm blue, if I don't always want to be the fox, there's a of all the different animal characters. So even if I'm always blue, this game I might be the fox, and next game I might be the owl, just to thematically change it up a little bit. So they really went the extra mile with just, a good production quality.
Extra components,
and thinking of those little things.
Yeah.
That's a lot
That's
extra
impressive,
there.
yeah. Do everything 4 times over?
Yeah, so that each person can play the character of their choice and still be the color of their choice.
Yeah, and they're screen printed. They're nice. They didn't skimp on them for sure. I don't know what the cost was. I didn't back it. But Connor and Jeremy both seem pleased with the money they put into it, and we're going to get a lot of this game in, so it's going to be well worth it.
Nice. Yeah.
Looks gorgeous, and they're definitely capitalizing on the popularity of Root.
Yeah.
Everdell.
Oh yeah, Root, Everdell, all that for sure.
Yeah. Fits right in those.
Well, good call out. We learned something new today.
Yeah.
I
keep a lookout for that one as well.
check for the DTE. Yeah, it may be in the hot games area. It just fulfilled. I've seen some good buzz on it. One last thing. I know I said I was going to talk about one more thing, but
I'm fine with it.
I'm sure you guys have talked about the whole Final Frontier debacle going on with Merchant's Cove and all that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Been a little while, but yes. Yep.
Well,
Elf Creek, I think it was.
Well,
No.
it's a Final Frontier game.
Yeah, I was thinking Merchants of the Dark Road, but yeah, the Final Frontier one.
Yeah. Well, so the reason I bring it up is because I don't know if you guys have anybody over there that has backed Merchant's Cove, but so I know some of I think Sixth Realm. If you backed it, you just lost your money. But Merchant's Cove was already produced and sitting at Quartermaster Logistics in America.
Yep.
So a couple of people, Jeremy and BJ both, they already paid the money and paid their shipping, and it was basically just a hostage situation with that game. They had to pay Quartermaster to get their game in. They finally just got them in this week. That big box is probably the biggest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
Maybe the size of a Foundation of the Realm, I guess, about that size.
Oh,
huge! It's got a box that sits inside the box. There's 2 boxes.
It's a box inside a box.
With
inside
all
a box.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but it was cool. I mean, I had played Merchant's Cove years ago. I actually played some of these factions because Johnny Pack, the designer, had sent some of them to BJ to play test and stuff. And I just know it's been a years-long process, but just let people out there know, like, it is in the wild now if you're willing to pay the negotiation fee to get the hostage out of quartermaster.
Because, I mean, QML is, I think, out of Florida.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
So that's no hate on quartermaster. They got to get there. It's a key problem. Final Frontier games. I'm sure it doesn't feel very good to have to pay a significant amount of money extra because that shipping ain't cheap. But it's either that or you lose all the money you put into the game total before that.
It's that sunk cost fallacy. Like, I've already lost this much money. What's losing a few more bucks? Jason Dunham says that he just got his shipping notice for Merchants Cove today. He also says he's playing Emberleaf on Saturday at the Dice Tower Midwest Annex.
Oh, nice.
Man, he needs to come and play in my game group. Sounds like we have the same taste.
I was going to say, was this coordinated? And then Kyle Jeeves out of Chi-Town says, holy cow, it's Mitchell.
Holy cow, it's
Mitchell.
What's
up, Kyle? Long time no talk.
Holy cow.
Mitch, it's always great to hear your voice.
Absolutely.
I know you know it, and I don't have to say it. I know you know it because I've said it before. You do such a good job, and this is what I loved about before when you were just a caller. You would just call in and explain games that you were playing.
Yep.
But you are able to explain a game where I could understand it just by voice.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't have to see a video or get into pointing. You can articulate.
It's a theater
the
thing.
Gist of the game.
It's a theater thing. You got to get a story across. You got to get an image. You got to put it out there, and so he's got all that theater experience.
Thank you. That's such a sweet thing to say.
Just do it more often, please.
It's good to hear y'all voices. Yes, I will definitely try to call in more. Definitely, it's summertime, so I got
real quick
a lot more time to spare.
Quick, I got to mention the wife has been talking to me. She wants to get back to Louisiana, and so she's asking me, when's that Sobo thing again? So I'm hoping. Go ahead.
Good question. Yeah. We actually had a meeting about that today. So it's in March. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but. So this last year, I actually wasn't involved in the planning or even much of the attending of Sobo, only because I had a show that weekend.
Right.
But actually for this year, they've asked me to step up, but I'm kind of in charge of the con this year.
Oh.
So I'm very heavily involved. Let me get the date.
Congrats, I think. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Screw this up.
I love the con, obviously, but it's a lot of work, of course, but labor of love.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All right, so let's shoot for March 16th through the 20th. That spring break in Hillsborough County, Florida.
Schedule on the computer here.
So I just looked it up. March 20th to the 22nd.
Oh, it's the weekend.
That's that weekend.
Yeah,
that's the end of spring break.
Yeah,
that might work.
A big trip out to Louisiana.
Yeah, I miss you guys. It's been too long. But like I said, so, Bob, you will be there on day one of Dice Tower East for me to pop in and say hey for a minute?
I will. Yep, I'll be there. And most of our group will be there day one on Wednesday. Some of them are getting in Tuesday and are already setting up games for the lobby on Tuesday. So, yep.
Okay, cool. Maybe so we're going to be in the park until Tuesday. And so maybe even Tuesday night if I have some energy. If people are there, I might come hang out for a bit. And then I purposely did a late flight on Wednesday so I could try to pop by and say, hey.
There you go.
I don't want to, I don't want to steal from Tom Vassell and like go to the cons without paying for a badge, but at least, seeing you on the lobby or something.
Yeah, just like Wayne said. Yeah, I mean, if you've got time, we'll bring a game out to the lobby. We got games of our own.
Definitely plenty of table space in the lobby,
Yeah, we'll go sit in the lobby and we'll play a couple games and just catch up.
And I could inhale a burrito in the lobby.
Pocket burrito, but yes, a little traveling burrito.
I have witnessed this.
We've seen it. We've been there. Great to hear from you, man. As always, and it'll be a treat to see if you can make it.
I still remember being at the Subway with Mitch, and he orders and get his sub. And as I'm ordering my sub, and I finally get my sub, I'm ready to go. I'm like, "Hey, you ready?" I'm like, "Grab your sandwich." He's like, "I finished it."
It's already gone.
He was gone before I even
waste time when gaming.
Where's the games? Where's the game?
There's no waste of time.
I agree 100%.
Brother, great to hear from you.
See you, Mitch.
Yeah, you guys as well.
Bye.
See you soon, hopefully.
Yep. Bye.
That's our man, our red bean, Mitch.
Great catching up. Yeah,
coming out of hot Louisiana.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got to talk to that guy more often.
Phone lines are still open. I'm loving this, Robert. No content. We've gone an hour and we've had a blast.
Anything? Yeah, we didn't plan a single thing.
No, we didn't do it. We didn't.
Oh man, the phones are lighting up. Keep them going.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
I have been waiting.
Oh, they kept you waiting. That's a good for us, not so good for you.
Caller number 3. Let's put it on the board.
Ron from Hot Atlanta.
How you guys doing?
Doing good, I think.
Work is busy, so
Yeah.
it's kind of interrupting with gaming life, which
Yeah.
is why Thursday nights are important because I can live vicariously through my friends.
We need y'all to call us and tell us about all the good games and what's going on out there.
Yeah, so you guys have these two callers have had a lot of good talk. So like, I am interested in the Frost Saving Adventures. I know that Rob is not into the theme, the thematic elements.
Not as
or
much, but yeah.
right. And Nick really made it sound like that the outpost part of the game is just kind of like, hey, flip a card, do a thing.
A little bit.
So that's not, right.
But you know what it kind of reminded me of, Ron, is when you're playing
What's
like a high level RPG campaign in such that back at the village at this point now, like you own like a tavern or something, and there are those times where you spent having to manage that business, right? So events that occur or gaining income or it's that higher level world building that kind of grounds you in the world. I think you recently did. I may have. I can't remember when, but a conversation about like the world, how important it is to put the characters in the world, not just make it fly by, not to be just another NPC in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought maybe the outpost phase would be the place where Rob can, touch grass in Frosthaven.
Yeah, not
kind
so
of ground
much.
him to it.
I want to get to the strategery. I want to get in there. I want to start doing stuff, finding a goal, moving towards it. Yeah, I like the scenario stuff. I mean, the outpost phase is okay, but yeah, it's still I still like the beating up on bad guys.
Right. All right. Second order of business, also generated from previous caller. I had no interest in the Lord of the Rings trick-taking game because I thought, boy, that's just ridiculous. Are we going here now? Right? Like, we slap Lord of the Rings on everything. You know me, like, that's my jam, Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I'm sold. I'm sold.
It's themey. It definitely, it's not just slapped on there, I don't think. I think they put some thought into how to bring that world into a trick taker. I mean, it is a trick taker. So at the end of the day, it's still a trick taking game. If you don't like trick taking games, you're not going to like it. But they definitely merged the two things.
There were two words that took it over the finish line for me. Those two words were the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Because as Mitchell doesn't feel, he doesn't. The crew doesn't move him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thoroughly enjoy the crew, and I know that there's, as Carlos said, 3 different games: the solo, 2-player, and multiplayer. That's all the better.
Yeah.
Just all the better.
And it's so pretty. It's like the production of it, the card quality, the artwork, there's ribbon, right? So the box is divided. The boxes, I don't know if you remember old Citadels. FFG had a line of games that came in this a long elongated box, small box, but it was a little bit elongated. So it's like that, but it's divided in 3s with 3 pockets for decks. So effectively 3 sets of decks inside of this, and then they have these little tuck boxes that hold the tuck lids. I won't call them boxes. And then they have these green ribbons. Like, it's just pretty. It's just
That's a nice production.
That's it sounds like sure. All right, third order of business. In the initial reason why I tuned in the first place. What do you do let's talk about social contracts. Okay, depending on your group dynamic, and this is to be anything like socially related, hobby related. Whether it's RPGs, board games, whatever. There is a certain etiquette, right? Like, and you want to be able to have a group that understands that the etiquette of this particular group so that everyone can contribute in a meaningful manner according to understanding. I had a situation today where while like I generously give resources to this play group, there's one guy, he's absolutely clueless, that kept taking and taking and taking. I asked him this one question, like, how much do you have? And he told me, and like I was dumbfounded. Right? Just think like like for example, you have people over to your house and you have a game night, whatever, and if everyone's supposed to say go evens on paying for food, and you got the one guy that doesn't seem to have any money, but he always seems to eat, right?
Yep.
If that's part of your social contract, that's a problem. Now, if it's like my house, a lot of times, particularly my wife loves to, she'll be Miss Hospitality, snacks and everything, and she'll even cook dinner and everything like that. And we don't ask for anything in return, but my boys usually take care of us, right? But that's kind of, it's not an expectation, but they go beyond what the expectation is.
Yeah,
we get tokens of gratitude, right? But it was just a situation that just kind of, I wasn't upset about it, but I did have to address it like right then and there. So, have you guys had like the situations where, like, with the board game group and everything like that, where you've had people like that? And what is your approach, or what was your approach?
All right, I'll go in the other room so you can talk about me now.
Yeah. No, it is not Robert.
Oh no, I play everybody else's games, but that's me.
He'll bum off you on BGA.
Yeah,
he'll use your premium subscription.
I'm actually 20 points away from another premium subscription, but go ahead.
No, Robert's my game. What I found is the folks that I invite over, I feel like they do the opposite.
Yeah,
they will bring more than enough beverages, adult beverages,
usually, and
then leave more than I think is fair. Like, bro, I gave you some pizza. Don't leave me like a 12-pack of beer. Like, take your beer, go home with it. So it becomes kind of like a fight where I'm like, take your beer with you, because I feel guilty about it. But I haven't dealt with
getting shortchanged. Yeah,
yeah, I don't feel that way. But I'm also a very giving person. So like when we did events at Armada Games, I would order 3 pies of pizza, knowing I'd only eat a couple slices, and then just that way everyone had something, because I don't know everyone else's financial situations. I don't know what they're capable of, so I give.
Yeah, and our group, we've been pretty lucky with that. I don't know that we've had too many in our local Beans and Dice group here that have taken consistently. I know Alex has been hosting our game days recently, our second Saturday game days, and he's mentioned, not the last time, but the time before, he's like, you guys got to stop just leaving all this food here. You bring stuff.
That's my problem.
I said, I eat it all. I'm getting fat because I'm eating all the crap that y'all leave over here. So he's like, from now on, less cookies, less cakes, less this, maybe more entrees, but then you got to take the leftovers home. Don't leave that stuff here. So, yeah, overall, we've been pretty good. I guess I haven't really watched to see if there's somebody taking advantage, but I'd like to think that there isn't. But yeah, I don't know what we would do is if we ran into a situation like you had, if it slaps you in the face and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, oh yeah, I've been taken, I haven't been given, but Yeah, I don't know. I haven't run into that.
Yeah, it was just something that I noticed. And this guy, he's a he has special needs,
Mm,
and so I think that's what that contributes to it,
sure.
like his foolishness. But it was just something that happened. I thought it would be a good topic to bring up on this call.
Now, for me, it wasn't so much like the food aspect that I had some feelings about, because there was a time where I had some feelings on a situation. Mine was more of I struggle bus to give stuff away. As you can tell by the hoarding of games. And there are times where I might have a couple copies of a game, and there was a person that I gave a very good game to. It expressed his desire for it, and I'm like, you know what? I have an extra one. I don't need it. I'll give it away. And then a few months later, I find out he sold it, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
because I went out and bought a second copy of the game, because I always want to have two copies of games. I know
That's rough.
of games that I love, especially.
All right, I know it's not me. Okay, go ahead.
So I never did bring it up, but I also never did offer a game again. Like, if you're gonna accept games from me as a gift, and if you don't want it anymore, like, I don't know, if someone gave me something and I didn't want it anymore, I feel like, okay, do they want it back? Right? Hey, I'm done playing your copy of X. I know you gave it to me, but did you want it back? No, you do whatever you want with it. Okay, cool. Right? But I don't know. It just didn't feel cool. And it was a very good game.
I had a similar situation with somebody like years ago when my wife and I were newlyweds, and like this dude, there's a couple that we were helping out, like that had moved down here, and like they were friends of friends, and like the guy was a board gamer, and I gave him Forbidden Stars.
Oh,
That's a big game.
yes.
And right, this was before it went out of print. So, it was like right before it went out of print. It was like I gave him the game, and then like he turned it around and sold it. It's like we had played the game. He loved the game. And it's like, yeah, I know what you feel.
Yeah. First time and last time. Yep. Mm-hmm.
If I hear that you paid it forward,
Yeah.
hey, mad props. I love it.
I played it a few times.
But if I
regifted it,
hear within a couple months of me giving it to you, you sold it, like, that just cuts deep.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm easily offended.
No, I think there's something to it. It's like, it would be one thing if it was like years down the line, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking matter of months maximum, right? Like, because it's funny, because like we wanted to even play the game. It's like, hey man, whatever happened to so and so and Forbidden Stars? And it's like, you got rid of it. Oh.
Well, that's tough. Yeah, that reminds me though. Daryl gave me that underwater bathysphere game, and I would never consider selling that. But I told him, I was like, I'll play it till I'm done with it, and then I'll pass it along. That reminds me, I need to pass it along. I think I'm done with it. Yeah, I played it a handful of times.
Robert's trying not to be that person.
Yeah, no. Like I say, I would never sell it.
Yeah.
If anything, I'd give it back to Daryl and be like, hey, I enjoyed that, but I told him I'd pass it along, and so I need to do that. But yeah, I mean, I've done certainly to a lesser extent than you, but I've passed off exit games. Once you play those, or not the exit. I'm sorry.
You passed them to me, and I've passed them on to someone else.
Yeah,
the puzzle games.
I forget the name, not the exit ones, but the other ones that are just cards.
Unlock.
The Unlock series. Yep, I played those and passed those along.
I have a couple of Unlock games that a couple passed on to my wife and I, and we still haven't played them, but I haven't gotten rid of them. Yeah, and it's been a long time. Like I'm sure they haven't even thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
but like, I just couldn't turn around and do that.
Yeah,
but Yeah.
Etiquette.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're
Like
now
you can-
outside of the circle of trust,
Yeah.
right? Like that person is now outside of my circle of trust.
Yeah, it's been a long. Yeah, but well, that
Dude, it was a
person-
copy of Memoir 44. Like it's
Oh.
a good game.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I gotta have at least 2 to 3 copies of that on stock.
Extra on hand all the time.
On hand at all times.
He's got to stack them around here somewhere. Yeah.
So I was about to say, like, it's been a good old, like, a Beans and Dice
Reunion.
reunion.
Yeah.
It has like a reunion night.
Old time callers on. Yeah.
Would this be like an all-star episode?
There you go. We should do that once a year. All-star episode. Everybody surprise us. Call in at the same time.
Right. But I gotta, there's one more thing I hang up. Like, I'm just gonna put this out there. Like, I would be open to, being a call-in guest every now and then. Particularly to talk about stuff that, like, maybe talk about thematic games or, like, RPGs or what have you or something like that. Not as a regular thing because I couldn't do it. But,
Sure.
I think it would be great because guys, that I'm getting back into the hobby, right? Like I've gotten a chance to play a couple of games with some folks. I'm going to Southern Fried Game Expo starting tomorrow. Of course, I'll be playing Super Show, but I'll be looking to play other stuff as well. And plus, I mean, it's a video game convention. Carlos, you need to do this one.
All right. If you do the vendor hall, right, and you see a guy who's selling Japanese candies,
Oh.
okay,
Yes.
guy's name is Angelo, should be like 6'2".
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, 250, 300 pounds, big dude, Italian, as Brad Pitt was saying, Inglourious Bastards. He's Italian. Angelo, with his lovely wife, selling Japanese candies. She does the horror stuff. She has a whole table of horror paraphernalia. If you happen to see that, ask him if he knows a Carlos from Tampa, and I'm sure that'll be a fun conversation. Robert and I both know him.
Oh, yeah.
He does. We used to do insurance with us, but he quit all that to now go around the country to different cons and events. And I know that Southern Fried is one of them because he always invites me out because he tells me I need to go check out this con because I like gaming.
Yeah. But seriously, if you like video games, arcade games, console, whatever, tabletop, it's an amazing convention.
All right.
It's about twice as large as Dice Tower East, 2 or 3 times as large as far as attendees. But yeah, it's a ton of fun.
Sounds good.
Anyway,
Have fun. Report back in,
Yeah, let us know how it goes.
and then let us know when you're ready to do a segment. I mean, if you want to join an episode, and not even as call-in, but as like live video from like we've done before, you just tell me, hey, I'm open this month to do a thematic topic. Because listen, today Robert and I showed up and we looked at each other like, what do you got to talk about today? Like nothing.
Not much.
What do you got to talk about? Nothing. Like, all right, I hope people call in because
It's going to be a pretty boring show.
we are always looking for folks to help us with content,
all right.
and we can simulcast it to your YouTube as well.
To the channel, that would be great.
Yeah, let me know.
Cool.
I always love having you on, Ron.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Great chat.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening. Thanks, Ron.
All right. Take it easy.
Bye.
Ron Frazier from Hot Atlanta.
All-star episode. Who else wants to join in on the all-star
Getting
episode?
Some of the old timers here. It's nice.
813-618-7099 is the number.
Some of the OGs here. You were pulling up some news stuffy over there.
Something like that.
Something like that.
Let's see. I've got the recent played tab of the Discord up, so I wanted to kind of go through that.
good ones in there.
Let's take a peek. We got some. How do I do this?
How do you share that thing?
I'm not good with computers.
Better than me. Yeah, there's been a lot of chat. People, especially the last few days, last week or so, people have been posting up plays. So that's good. Keep them coming. We didn't just miss a call, did we?
It started and ended.
Oh, see, I didn't hear it, but I saw something flash. Okay, well, if you had trouble with that call, call back again. Line is open. So we're up to 3 calls tonight. That's our total for the last couple weeks. That's pretty nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Oh, there it is.
It's a spam risk.
Uh-oh.
We go with it?
You do. You love that.
Let's see. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
My name is Jason. I'm from Indiana.
Jason from Indiana. Hello, Jason. Welcome to the show.
All right, Jason.
I'm doing well.
Good.
We are talking board games. What do you got going on?
Well, I wanted to call in and talk about a game I got to play last Saturday at a meetup here in Indianapolis.
Nice.
A trick taker called Lunar Trick.
Lunar Trick. I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's new. It's so Mike Delisio from the Dice Tower came and he brought some of his games that he had bought at the Tokyo Game Market. I think maybe this was one of them.
Is this Jason Dunham?
Yeah, this is Jason Dunham.
Oh,
you
nice.
called before too, right? The voice is very familiar.
I've never called. I've been in the chat a few times, but I've never called.
For sure. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Nice to meet you, Jason.
And you had mentioned in there about Dice Tower Midwest Annex. Is this something that Delicio's doing now that he got annexed?
Pretty much, yeah. Although
he just has folks come over and play with him, and so I've had the honor of getting to go over there a couple times and play some games with him.
He did announce, I think, that he's coming back to Florida. He's planning a relocation, so he is. I'm not sure what the timeline on that was, but is coming back down.
Yeah, he's gonna move back. I think within the next year or so. I know. So my time getting to play with him is limited.
Yeah, take advantage.
Hopefully, some events or whatever. But
he's a great guy.
Yeah, before you get into the game itself, right? Tell us a little bit about this Dice Tower Annex. So a big part of what I like to do is show people how they could also, within their own communities, do events and game days. That's a big part of what Beans and Dice we do is locally is try to set up game days and events. What is the Midwest Annex? How does that go?
Midwest Annex. That's just Mike hosting game days.
Mike's house, yeah,
at his place. But this Saturday there was a meetup for board game indie. So there's a local group and they do events, a couple times a month and the Saturday events they usually just go from game store to game store, and so this was one that we met up with, and so
cool.
There's a pretty good board gaming community here in Indianapolis. Now I don't live quite in Indianapolis. I live a little bit north, but it's good enough that I'll drive down because there's quite an enthusiastic bunch of folks who like to play games. So
that's awesome.
So it's Saturday. You got games going on. Lunar Trick is on the table. What? There's not even it doesn't look like it's been out yet. There's no ranking on it on the BGG.
Yeah, that's why I said I think he picked it up at the Tokyo Game Market. He was over there, and so it's probably the most interesting trick-taking game I played, and I played quite a few with Mike. Mike likes trick-taking games, and he likes Japanese trick-taking games. But this one is unique enough. I thought I'd talk about it because I'm still thinking about it. It's been almost a week. I'm still thinking about it. So it's pretty simple in the terms that it's just 30 cards, 1 through 30. And you can kind of see there in that picture that there's like a little cloth mat that's got 1 through 30 on it. And the first thing you do is everybody takes a card from their hand and plays it out. it's a 3-player game. We played at 3, and those values determine the trump and the suits in terms of you put out discs on the 3 cards that were played, and now the suits are the numbers within each of those limits. And so there were some hands where we played cards next to each other, so we only had 2 suits. And then whichever side of the board, 1 through 15 or 16 through 30, has more of those discs laid out, that becomes trump. And so within a suit, you could have some cards that are trump and some that aren't. And you have to follow within that group of cards. And the only way you get points is by either taking 1 trick, 3 tricks, or 5 tricks. You get 2 points for 1 trick, 2 points for 5 tricks, 1 point for 3 tricks. It was mind-bending to try to keep track of all that. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it well, but it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot going on in a little trick taker.
And so, there's copies available. I was able to get one, but it's quite unique. And so I think, it'll probably make its way over at some point. I was trying to think. The designer had done Jiraku. Yeah, that was the one that I had played before.
Okay.
Which is an old TMG trick-taking game where you're kind of traversing across the board. I don't know if you ever...
I've heard of it, but I haven't ever played it. Yeah.
And so, anyways, I just thought it was very fascinating. They took just a 30-card deck and turned it into one of the most complex trick-taking games I'd had a chance to play.
Yeah, and that's I'm not an aficionado on trick takers. We both like trick takers. I do like a little more going on in my trick takers. I'm not so crazy about the simple ones. I thought Cat in the Box was really cool when it first came out. You got area control now in a trick taker, and so I like the ones that add a little extra going on. And this one sounds like it's kind of up that alley. There's enough to think about, enough different things to going on in it to make you actually have to think through it. And so, just real quick, so I'm seeing that you've got the different phases of the moon on the cards. Are those the suits?
Right. So those are the 2 sides of the board.
Okay.
The rising moon and the falling moon, I think. And so the way it is so you don't really know what the suits are going to be until those 3 cards are played out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but those are, one of those 2 is going to be trump. You don't know which side. Is it 0 through or 1 through 15 is going to be trump, or 16 through 30? Mm-hmm. It's whichever side gets more of the tokens, whichever side has 2 of the 3 cards played,
right,
in that initial trick. And so you look at your hand, you're like, oh gee, I've got 23. I've got 5 cards from 23 to 30. I don't want to take more than 5 tricks,
right? Because you're not trying to force your strong hand to become the trump, because you mentioned the points only come at
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2. I'm sorry, 1, 3, and 5, right?
1, 3, and 5.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 1, 3, 5.
1, 3, 5.
And so you're like, oh, I gotta try to split this up so that I'm not just gonna.
Could be some trick avoidance.
Yes.
Get too many tricks.
I think my favorite trick-taking games are the ones that require trick avoidance, because that's like the hardest part to puzzle out, is how do I not win this trick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's and sloughing is so hard because this one makes it kind of tough because other people want to slough too. And boy, I got stuck with a bunch of tricks that I don't want, and it's like, okay. It's just fascinating. I like, you don't really know what you have, right? You look at your hand and you have no idea what you have until trump is set, until the suits are set. And it was pretty cool. I highly recommend it for folks who enjoy trick takers with a lot of kind of stuff going on. Like I said, it's pretty new, so who knows when it'll become widely available, but it's available in Japan. It's just you'd have to import it, but
Here at Beans and Dice, we're not opposed to that. We've done that before.
Yeah, we'll have to touch base with Mike Lorenzo. He's our probably our most seasoned trick taker. He's out in Seattle. Used to be here in Tampa, but still definitely part of the Beans and Dice crew here. So
they seem to have a big connection with Japanese trick takers over there.
Yep.
I don't know if it's the proximity.
Yeah. But we'll touch base with him, see if he's heard much about it or if he's had a chance to play it. But sounds interesting.
Well, I know that some of you are going to Dice Tower East, and so I thought, well, I'm telling you, I think you could hunt down Mike, and I know he's planning on taking it with him. So
okay,
maybe get a chance to play.
Yeah, Mike's a great guy. He's taught me at least one or two different games.
Orange Nebula.
Yeah, or Unsettled.
Yes.
He's taught us Unsettled. Was great. So he's a really good teacher. So, but yeah, real nice guy. I like talking to him. I like playing games.
He's a great teacher. Yeah, I enjoy. He's just a lot of fun to play games with because he enjoys games so much. So.
Yep. He's got an enthusiasm.
Yeah, I just thought I'd call in and say, hey, this is a great game. Look out for it, and maybe you get a chance to play. And I appreciate you guys. I probably won't call in that often, but I do enjoy listening to you guys.
First time caller, hit the horn.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, we got to give you a quick horn before you log out of here. First time caller, so we appreciate you calling and making this a call-in show.
Well, actually, 4 calls since we put the board up.
Yeah?
This is the highest number of calls we had in one episode.
Last 3 weeks, but
so 4 calls in one episode. You're the 4th caller. Thank you so much for making that happen.
Thanks for calling, Jason.
Well, thank you, guys. You have a great rest of the show. Bye.
You too. Good evening. Bye.
That's nice. 4 callers in one evening.
Time's flying by. We got like 20 minutes left in the show. Doesn't feel like we've done anything yet.
Right.
So
and we had no plans.
Making it easy.
Y'all make it easy.
You even threatened to play Foundations of Metropolis if nobody called.
Right. If nobody called, we were just going to sit here and play a game until somebody called. And
yep. No problem with that.
That never happened.
Yep.
Let's see what's in the chat here in the Beans and Dice.
Yeah, or either chat.
I guess in the Beans and Dice channel. Let me see if I can share my screen on this one. Yeah. Trying to find a better way to do this, but there really isn't. Sharing screen, you're going to see my Discord. So my view of the Discord. Here's the channel for recent plays. So those folks at home who have recently played games have been posting up in our Discord with the games that they've been playing. So since like last episode, here's some games that have been posted. Captain Gamer has posted some pictures of Marvel Dice Thrones.
Dice Throne, yeah.
So this is the cooperative adventure game set in the X-Men universe, right? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah.
This one looked good to me. I love the way he described when he called in at one point. He did talk about it. He described how the bad guys are really static on the board. There's so there's less that you have to control on the other side. There's less that you have to manage for the AI. You just interact with the board, and it's got the story elements printed on each board. So every adventure is going to have its special rules printed on its board, so it keeps it easy.
And you're not reading through books or manuals and stuff. It's
Less
pretty
setup.
much all out there.
No outpost phase.
Yep.
Bowser was in the chat, dropped some images of the 3D print or the 3D version of Terraforming Mars.
Nice. Yeah.
So with the what underwater cities wish it had.
Exactly. The little nice clear bubble dome cities and domes.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, this got played at the game day last Beans and Dice game day, which was last weekend. I think it was last weekend. Yep, this got played there. So
Pretty.
yeah,
My wife still loves this game. She keeps begging me to play it again.
Still one of my favorites.
New board order posted some images here. Robert, can you help me figure out this game?
Oh crap! I asked and he said what the name of it was, but I don't remember. So it's probably right there in my
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
That's Amsterdam. So that's the first one he posted up here.
That looked nice. I told him nice table presence. I know nothing about this game, but it looks like it's something up my alley. Lots of little places to go to. Lots of looks like maybe things to move around and bump. And there's cubes. You see that, Carlos, on that little wheel over
There's
there?
a rondelle with cubes, a QB rondelle.
I'm excited. It's got me interested. It's got dice in it too. Look, there's dice over on the side.
Screen printed meeples.
Got it all. Yeah, this game looks nice. I hope it plays well, but I'm going to have to seek this one out at some point. So Amsterdam, I got to remember that. Okay.
And then the classic
Yes,
Istanbul.
Istanbul, that's always a good one. We just talked about that the other day. Considered playing that at game day on last Saturday, but it didn't make it out.
Let's see here. Continuing on, Wayne had posted up on the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
He got some plays of
Rec Raiders.
That's Kid Table Games, right?
It is.
His favorite company.
Yep, but this is a good little thinky game. There's a fair amount going on in this. It's been a while since I played, but yeah, I like Rec Raiders. I know Nick Oben owns Rec Raiders. He plays that. I think he may have been the one who taught it to me. I can't remember. But yeah, fun little game. Yeah.
That's Nick playing some Rec Raiders. What is it? Pirate based or
yes, it's diving down. I remember you're moving your boat around. You're actually just placing into areas, and then you're diving down to get. There's set collection. If I remember, you have those little shells and
okay.
starfish.
So these are shipwrecks that you're diving to.
Yep, diving down to them. And so, if I remember, there's something about you're putting them around a rondelle around each of the shipwreck areas. And I can't remember. There's something with priority depending on where you place them or how you place them, and you're bumping people off and diving down to get resources. And like I said, there's a set collection kind of thing. I'm doing a horrible job explaining it because it's been a while. It's been a couple of years since I played it, but yeah, I remember it was a fun game. I've only played it the one time.
I posted up images of Cascadia. I got to teach it to my son and his girlfriend.
Is this with expansion or?
It is with the expansion, but not using the modules from the expansion. Let me explain.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Explain you.
Because it's all in the landmarks box. The landmarks box comes with more wildlife tokens and also more habitat tiles.
Right.
And you don't have to remove them from the game in order to play the base game. It just gives you a much more variety of tokens and tiles to be able to play. Because the new tiles, habitat tiles in the landmark, have different combinations, and I think even more habitat sides than you would find in the regular game. So it's just more variety of habitats and tiles. I did not do the landmarks. I just wasn't a fan.
Most people, that was the opinion I've heard, is that the landmarks just wasn't that good.
It didn't hit, Robert. It didn't hit.
How about the expansion cards, the goal cards?
No, didn't use the objectives, didn't use the landmarks. I just taught the base game using the tiles and the tokens.
Are the ones in the landmarks a little more complicated? The objectives?
Yes.
We
This one we did just all A's, so all the alphas.
Yep.
Because we were just teaching the kids how to play. I say kids.
Kids, yeah, they're in there.
I was having kids at their age.
Upper teens, low 20s, yeah.
That's crazy. So that was my post. Then I posted some more, Robert.
Hey, look at that.
I think that same day I posted Foundations of Rome. Foundations of Metropolis got played that day.
Break that habit.
It's the not a sequel. It's the next iteration of Foundations of Rome.
Downscale of Foundations. Of Rome,
Downscale.
Yeah, a little bit. But
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Matt, and I'm from Kansas.
Matt. Did I hear Matt from Kansas?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Matt. Welcome to the show. You made
Hillary
it.
Clinton actually scratched.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton actually scratches my balls for fun. She scratches my balls, dangles my balls like a little with yarn. That's like the way Clinton does with my balls.
sounds like not a Clinton fan.
No.
That's a little not even timely though. Come on.
Right, but I will. Can we acknowledge it as a call though? Does it count?
Do 4.5.
0.5.
0.5. There we go. 4.5. It was a call. I mean, it came through as a call.
4.5.
It was all broken up. It was a little difficult to hear, but yeah.
Yeah, the internet was cooperating with us. Thank you, Matt, for your call. That just tells us that we exist.
People are out there.
So
people are listening.
People have heard of us.
Yep. A little bit. Well, or they just stumbled across us, but that's okay. That's fine. All right, so foundations. You got it here on the table. Metropolis. So yeah, I would call this the. Well, I don't know. Does it do a disservice to call it the poor man's?
We will talk about that. We will get some content on this bad boy. It's currently on the table. It was going to be the backup plan for Robert and I to get some foundations played tonight if nothing else had happened. I still want to try to get something done with this tonight. I have an idea for
a segment?
A segment for tonight's show that we can do with this.
Okay. All right.
So that was something that I put on the table in our Discord recent plays chat. Here's a picture of the board itself being played, so you can see the tiles, and I'll give you all a more breakdown of the contents. More games played. Dan in here got to play some Healthy Heart Hospital.
At first, I thought this was some kind of funny spoof thing, and then I kind of looked a little closer. I was like, no, this looks like a real game. So
it sounds like a game right up Dan's alley.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
A co-op simulation for a staff of 1 to 5 players.
Yeah. I'm down for trying it. We played through Clinic, which was a pretty heavy health system based game. Interesting simulation. Well, not really simulation, but yeah, it was a thing. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like that's kind of up that alley. Oh,
Aaron,
some Heat
from Ohio. He had mentioned that he got to play some Heat. Looks like the Talia board
solo.
on the board.
Yeah, he said he played solo. He got to run through it and really enjoyed the solo.
He had called in the episode before. He asked for some recommendations. I recommended Heat. He says finally got Heat to the table solo. Great recommendation, Carlos. Oh,
nice.
Look at that. Well,
you got called out there.
Yeah, I get an achievement. We'll absolutely be playing again and likely trying one of the championship campaigns, which I did start I start every campaign. We'll
see if you finish it.
I started a solo campaign of Heat.
Yeah.
It works great.
Okay. We'll see how far you get with that. Keep us updated.
More posts from me. Look at this. This is me winning at Foundations of Metropolis again. But this time I had to do it in the dark because here in Florida, the power went out. And with the power going out mid-game, we're not stopping. We kept going, and we finished that game.
Okay. Hardcore.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Yes, I actually stuck a cucumber up my butt the other day, and it actually fell out.
Okay, that's a new game.
I guess that counts. We're on fire tonight, Rob.
Woo-hoo. Well, does that get us to 4?
Would that be
4.75? Maybe. Let's keep them going in decreasing increments. So
put it on the board.
There we go. 4 point. It looks like a question mark. But that's going to be it. It's going to be
4.75 callers.
Yeah. Anyway,
they're less than humans. They don't count as a full call.
Nope.
But we appreciate the confirmation that we exist on the internet.
Yeah, the effort to actually pick up a phone and dial us or internet us or whatever you did. So, yep. Anyway,
and the sad part is I'll keep answering that phone.
You will.
that's the really sad
caller
part.
ID, and you just keep on answering it.
Let's see. Michigal throws in here Orleans with the Invasion expansion played the competitive mode.
I want to play this. Yeah, this comes in a competitive or a cooperative version. This was one of the 2 expansions to Orleans, and I have yet to play this. I've pulled it out a couple times and looked at it. It's just different than what I know. It's different than the base, but I definitely want to try it, and I really want to try the cooperative. She says she's looking to play the cooperative also, and that's. Cooperative comes with a big board, and everybody's trying to fill the board up with all these different things. You got to get so many coins, you got to get so many wheat, so many things, and in a certain amount of time. There's a countdown timer, basically. A little different than in the base game. You have the cards that you're flipping over for the events, and they're kind of hidden until they're coming up. In this one, you actually see all the events on a pre-printed board, so you know what's coming. You can plan ahead, look ahead. But for that reason, I imagine it's pretty tough. But anyway, moving right along. I love me some Orleans. And it makes another appearance, and this is James Odak. He has talked about to me privately. He didn't want to admit this publicly, but he was a big poo-pooer of the Orleans early on. He said he just didn't get the game, didn't understand it. He admitted to me the more he plays it, he's actually starting to love Orleans. He's really enjoying playing it. So he's starting to figure out how some of the mechanisms work. I played an online game with him on BGA, and 3 other people. We had a 5-player game, and he beat me pretty handily. So
I can't say that I have not enjoyed a play of Orleans.
Yeah, he's getting it figured out, so he's really liking it. I did post, I don't know if he's responded yet, but Windmill Valley, Jim, you got to let me know how that was, because I don't know a whole lot of people who played Windmill Valley, but I liked it quite a bit. So I'm curious to see what your feedback on Windmill Valley was. If you're in the chat, post it up in there, or call us.
And then it's already been talked about. I think 2 or 3 of our callers tonight brought it up.
There you go.
Lord of the Rings, the trick-taking game. I'm sorry, Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
You got to get it right, because if you type in Lord of the Rings in BGG, you're never going to find it.
You don't know what you're going to get.
It's Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game.
Mm-hmm.
So Michigal putting pictures of the beautiful artwork on the cards, playing the character of Frodo, trying to get the most rings.
I know it's been going around our group, like I said, so she's introduced it to several people, and she brought it to a game day a month before last. So, yeah.
Let's check out the channel for In the News to see if anybody's posted up any articles since last week for things to talk about.
I know you did.
Yeah, let's see. We've got in here, okay, so since last week, we've got the $3,000 table from Lord of the Rings Confrontation.
Yep. That's an expensive table.
It's a beautiful looking table. Then we've got, I posted an article from War on the Rocks, and this is a website that deals with military news. And in this article, it goes into the use of AI in wargaming, so like war game simulations for like in the military world, that they found that the benefits that were that were described that they would get from using like AI or computer systems just doesn't outweigh what you would get by playing with dice and cards. So there's something very tactile about actually using people and components compared to counting on AI. I know that I saw a recent announcement of a Kickstarter that came out where the whole game is going to be AI, where it's like a dungeon crawler / adventure game where AI is just going to generate the adventure as you play, and none of that sounds okay to me. Like it doesn't feel right. Oh, we got a call coming. Let's give this a shot. Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Dang it! I just stood on my dick. Hold on.
They're going to keep coming.
Man, it's a great night. Luckily, it's after hours.
It is 10:50. Yeah,
Yep, for the kids. Let's see, and finally in the Discord, there's the article about Fantasy Flight Games increasing their prices 15%. So if you got anything you wanted to buy from them, now's the time.
Yeah, I know it's funny. They were talking about that on Dice Tower this morning. They're in the news section that I think it was Z who said, or it might have been Joey, that it feels like they're just trying to sell a bunch of games real fast by saying if you need it, buy it now because things are going up 15%. Like what a way to force people into a quick impulse buy, threaten them with higher prices coming up. So it's interesting.
Well, FFG is owned by Asmodee.
Yeah,
Asmodee just bought all of Cool Mini or Not's Zombie Side
IPs,
right? So
yeah,
I have a feeling that they got to get their money back.
Yeah.
Speaking of Asmodee, Asmodee also brings in from Cool Mini or Not one of the architects of Cool Mini or Not's success.
Yep, one of their head guys. Yeah,
which makes sense now that Asmodee owns Zombie Side. Bringing in someone that can manage their. It looks as though they're bringing them in to start some sort of a crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, as well as miniature production to run that piece.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if it's really too defined yet. I know, again, this is another one they were talking about on Dice Tower this morning, and I think it was Chris or somebody was saying that it hasn't really been announced exactly what he's going to do. He's probably got other talents. He's not necessarily just a minis guy or not necessarily just the crowdsourcing guy, but we'll see. Yeah, time will tell. He was there when Simon took off, when they really started becoming popular, and he's credited with a lot of that quick growth that they received about 5, 6, 7 years ago. So I think he's 7 years with Simon, and then bringing that talent over to Asmodee. So,
well, I mean, Simon seems to be tightening the belt.
Yeah, for sure. Man.
So seeing him leave the company isn't a complete surprise. You don't want to be the last rat off the ship.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, hopefully he has success, and if nothing else, he can manage that IP, the whole Zombicide thing.
That's a bit loud. I brought that down.
At least in our ears. Yeah. I don't know if it made it across, but
this is a video from CGE Games announcing. It's a digital trailer announcing Arnak on Steam now.
A digital version.
Lost Ruins of Arnak. Let me be specific. Lost Ruins of Arnak is a great game, stellar game.
Yeah.
And I have not enjoyed my plays on BGA.
Really?
I don't know what it is about the BGA formatting.
I played a bunch on that. Yeah.
It's not hitting well. I'm not understanding. I'm not grokking the situation on the board. My turns feel like they take a little too long to figure out what am I doing here.
Yeah, I studied a little bit, but yeah.
So looking forward to seeing what CGE does with Steam, especially since Xbox is announcing that they are coming up with their new system. Their new next generation system is going to be a system that runs Steam. It's effectively going to be a computer
Yeah.
on a console. So that got me thinking, okay, so all my Steam board games I can now run on Xbox.
And I heard they're getting rid of the Xbox console. I think I just heard that. The whole computer app thing is going away. So, it'd be interesting to see. I know my son is big on the Xbox console on his computer. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I think my boy was able to play it because the console's in the house, but he'll play on his phone or another device, and it all just remotes in as if he doesn't even need the physical console.
Yeah, supposedly that thing is going away, that online thing. So maybe it's because of this new thing they're rolling out with Steam.
It's effectively going to be a PC in a console format, is the way they described it. AMD, I think, is going to run the processors on it.
Okay.
So very interesting. Arnak, Lost Ruins of Arnak, it's going to have its own digital implementation from CGE.
Nice.
So that's the articles that were in there. So you folks, if you want to contribute to the show without calling in, you can always post in our Discord what games you've been playing. We'll run through to see what other folks are playing around the country. And then any news articles that you want us to opine on, you can throw them in the news segment of the Discord.
That's that same area code. So I think I got it now.
At this point, we will close out the phone lines. We thank you for almost making it to 5 callers tonight.
4.75. We were just a 0.25 away.
Yeah, very close.
Anyway. But, or leave us a voicemail. We've always talked about that. Not the person who keeps calling, but the people who want to talk board games, leave us a voicemail. If you can't call for some reason, or if you come up with a thought after the show, after hours, during the week, and you just want to get it off your chest so that we can bring it up and talk about it, anything you want us to talk about, call in, leave a voicemail, send an email, send money. Send kids. No more kids. No more kids. Don't want any kids. Yeah.
Kids are all back in the house.
Yeah. Too many kids.
Let's see. We got some comments in here in the chat. Let's see. 4.85 says Wayne on the callers.
Oh, 4.85. Yeah, for all the other missed calls.
The increments keep dropping. The value of these prank calls keep dropping.
Oh, Jason Dunham, I got to call that one out. Orleans has been my number one for years. The OG bag builder. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Wayne says BGA is good. Not pretty. Steam version will be pretty for sure. Yes. We can't say if it's going to be good.
Yes, let's hope for both. Hope
maybe
for
not
both.
Good.
Yeah. I like my Steam. There you go.
All right, Robert, get your phone out.
Get my phone out.
Get your phone out.
We're gonna play a game.
Yeah, we're gonna play a little quick game. Get your phone out and get your timer out, like your stopwatch.
Oh, my stopwatch.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out where that is.
Here's my curiosity. Like I'm curious on. This is the new Foundations of Rome. Foundations of Metropolis.
Yeah.
And it comes with an insert. I've played it. I'm curious, how quick is this game to set up? Like, did they do a good job with this insert
setup? Oh, hold on, I got to figure.
How long would it take Carlos to do a setup of Foundations of Metropolis?
All right, we're not going to use that app. It's tell me I got to pay for something.
You know how to stop. Go to your clock.
That's why I went to stopwatch. So I'm going to try clock. Yeah.
Go to your clock, like literally, like your clock on your phone. It's fun. And then there should be a stopwatch somewhere there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Right
there you go. Yep. All right. So, all right. Let me get warmed up here. Let's
warmed up. You got to stretch. Make sure you don't hurt yourself.
Get ready. Okay. So we got Foundations of Metropolis on the table here. I'm going to try to set up a 2-player game, and Rob's going to give it a time. Rob, you give the play-by-play because I'm not going to be near the mic.
Oh, okay.
On what's coming out of this thing.
What's coming out of this? Stuff's just going to fly out.
Okay, we're still here. We're still live. We still got 8 viewers. All right.
Okay, all right. Still on there.
The connection is still good. All right, Rob. Okay. So you say when, and let's see how long the setup is.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. All right, box slid is coming off, throwing it aside. Got the rules over there. Those are going aside. All right, you're seeing it live here. The player boards. No. Yeah. These are the player difference. Oh, so, okay, in the big box version, you got your own little inset mat. These are nice 2-layer boards. Dealing them out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 players. Red, blue, green, and yellow. So you're setting up 2 players. We're gonna. You even picked my color, blue and yellow. There is I'm gonna call it a market board, although it's probably not really a market board. The lots that are for sale. You got the scoreboard off to the side. You now have the main playing board where we're going to be choosing our lots and putting out our buildings. All right. What are we digging for? We're digging in the box over there for the player colors. Yes. There's all the blue. Okay, blue going on. Oh, you're actually gonna put them all in the little dual layer board. Oh, they were stuck together. This game is fresh. This is new. Nobody's played blue before, huh?
No.
Okay, that's my color. It's reserved for me. Don't let anybody touch it. All right, got the score markers on the scoreboard. The civilization population tracker out there. All right, now we're setting up yellow. Yellow going in. We are at 1:08, 1:09, 1:10. All right, those are in there. You're going to teach the rules too, right? That's going to be part of the demonstration. Oh no, you're going to teach the rules too. Okay. All right, got the yellow player out there on the score tracker and on the population track. Okay, we got the player aids for each person. Turn guide, nice, very nice touch. You have this all sleeved, very nice. Oh, yeah, there you go.
One counts as shuffled.
Once through is shuffled. That's random enough for you, huh? Okay. Dealing those out. No, we're not. Don't deal up the face up to everybody who can see it. All right. So a little mistake there. We're going to reset. There we go. 2 cards each, 3 cards each. How many did we get? 4?
6.
Oh, 4, 5, 6. All right. 6 cards each. Just down there. Got to put out the splitting 3 semi-even stacks.
And it says that.
Yep.
Roughly even.
Guesstimate, roughly even. That's what the rule book says. Yep. So just kind of estimate. That's it.
Stop a timer.
We'll give you 201.
2:01 on the clock. Show the clock over here. Look at that. 2:01. So in 2 minutes, I was able to unbox the box, get the game on the board.
Unbox the box, and then were you supposed to set up a market up there or no?
No, because that happens after we draft.
Oh.
So at this point, we would end up doing the drafting phase where we would choose a lot that's in our hand and then pass the rest.
Okay.
So then after the draft is complete, we then play the market.
So 2 minutes, you can set this game up, and you can play it in 30 seconds if you're Mitchell.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
There he goes. The quick view. I figured because I kept setting it up for wifey and I to play, and I'm like, okay, this is a pretty quick setup.
Yeah. No, not bad. That is pretty quick. If you have somebody helping, you could probably cut that time in half.
Yeah, I could just throw your pieces at you and call it a day.
You could probably do it in 45 seconds if you were really trying.
So I think I would call this a solid insert.
Yes. Is there a point to that?
No. Well, see, I've heard folks say that this insert is not a quality insert.
Yeah.
That it doesn't hold the pieces together in the box well. What I found, folks, the mistake that I think was made is when you punch your game. So once you've completed and punched this game out, you're going to have a quantity of punch boards left. Mm-hmm. What you need to do is keep a few of those bad boys and put them inside the bottom of the box.
Along with a couple card sleeves. That's
now,
really
not
important.
all of them.
No.
I think I put 2 or 3 down there, just enough to raise the insert.
Bring everything
so
tight.
that it is tight
Stays
on
tight.
the lid of the box.
Like a tiger?
Tight like a tiger.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
So that it puts that pressure down on the cover, which then keeps the pressure on the player pieces that are set in this dual layer board. What's different about this dual layer board, Robert, you'll notice that for example, the dual layer board for the score tracker, you can see it's 2 thick cuts of cardboard. Mm-hmm. But on the player tiles, it's a thin layer as the second layer. You notice how thin that is compared?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they really don't seat in there and stay in there very well, but they also aren't snug in there where you can't get them out. I think that's why they did that.
Yeah, that's kind of nice. When you first put them out there, I didn't think they were dual layer. That's why I made a mention of it. I was like, oh, these are dual layer boards. Okay. That's pretty nice. But yeah, like you say, there's kind of gaps along the edges. So number one, it's a little less cardboard, but number two, it allows you these little areas to actually be able to kind of grab onto the side of the tile and be able to lift it out. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with that.
I don't think I've seen that before. And you say they don't seat in there, but they're not moving around horizontally for sure. I mean, if you shook up and down, they would probably come out pretty easy.
Yeah, I don't think you could store this game vertically.
Yeah.
Because just any little bit of play in the box, if it just allows just a little bit of release of tension,
yeah.
yeah, they'll just kind of shift in the box.
Yeah, I imagine. But no, not bad.
There it is. Foundations of Metropolis. Robert and I will provide some more content on this one. I'll definitely give you all my feels. For the first time, though, when I opened the box, the first thing I noticed was that the rule book was shoved in there in a way where it was bent against the insert. So like the box lid. So it was kind of hanging outside of the box lid. Mm-hmm. So when the cover came on, it squished it down in there. Now there's this permanent crease in my rule book.
Automation, yeah.
It's kind of bothering me.
Game I borrowed from Nick has the same thing on his expansion rule book. It's creased almost exactly like that, so I wonder if that's what happened.
Yeah, when they
Machine didn't put it in all the way. And
then they shoved the box lid on top.
Yep, just bent that rule book. Yep. Oh,
all right.
Yeah. Hey, we did it. Another
Thank you for playing along, Robert.
Successful show. Yeah, that was fun. That was a little different. Little 2-minute timer.
Let's see. Jason timed me at 3 minutes 35 seconds.
Oh, come on.
Let's see. This would be a nice warm up for a board game workout.
There you go. Yeah, that's
And,
Metropolis.
top 10 longest setups that are worth it. The qualifier in there that are worth it.
Yeah, say Mosaic. I know has been highly
Mosaic.
criticized. Yeah. We played that
Twilight
a
Imperium
couple weeks ago, but TI4 is a big TI3, TI4, any of them are a big setup. What else is a huge setup? I don't know. I'd have to give that some thought for top 10 most complicated setups. I never liked setting up. It's not super complicated, but code names. You have to put all those cards in little perfect rows on the table.
Yeah. But you have that thing about you where it has to be perfect.
They got to be nice.
If it's crooked, I'm fine with it.
No, it's got to look good.
Well, folks, remember, check us out every Thursday night. We take your phone calls. Most of y'all, some of y'all tonight don't deserve.
We don't take them all
for us to answer your call.
You like to,
but most folks, we take your phone calls to talk about board games. You can make sure to hit subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when we are going live or when we posted something. I've been posting up some shorts, so it'd be great if you viewed those and maybe give a like on those shorts, and that helps to get some notoriety out there. So it actually in the algorithms does a great job of pushing it to new folks.
I wore pants tonight, but okay.
Robert wore pants,
not shorts.
If you like what we do here, make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, send us an email with comments or questions. You can always leave a voicemail where we can bring it up anytime on an episode. We can play what you've got going on, play your voicemail. I've been your host, Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And we are the Beansanddice Podcast. A podcast about
how we game.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice
Dramatic
Podcast.
pause.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks again.